Hello, my name is Araya and I run the Instagram account How To Nails, and recently I've decided that some of my nail art doesn't really work with the 60-second time limit that I'm given on that platform, so welcome to YouTube. Please bear with me. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do this unicorn-inspired design. We're going to want to start out by using 2 thick coats of a black gel polish while curing it with an LED lamp in between each of the 2 coats. The reason we're doing this is because a gel polish has a bit of a tacky layer on top of it, which is perfect for helping to buff in nail patterns, which is what we're going to be doing in one moment. Once the black polish has been cured, I'm going to go in with this cuticle protector. This is basically just going to make it so it's a lot less of a messy cleanup later on. If you don't have one of these, you can just use tape, or honestly, this is a pretty low mess design, so you'd be fine without it. Now, the plan for this first part of the design is to do a holographic multi-chrome gradient using these nail powders from TwinkledT. To apply the nail powders, you can use your fingers or some sort of silicone or rubber tool. I'm going to be going in with this old nail oil pen. I'm not a big fan of the nail oil itself, but the rubber tip is actually very useful for applying nail powders. So going in with Twilight, I'm going to be dipping in my applicator and then gently buffing it into the tip of my nail. You'll do this with small circular motions, gently pressing the powder in and creating a nice smooth design. You want this to cover just over 1/4 of the nail so we can get an even transition between the different colors. Next up, we're going to take a little star, once again buffing into the nail with small circular motions. This time you want to make sure that you're paying extra attention to the transition in between the 2 different powders. You really want to make sure that you're creating a smooth transition so it doesn't just seem like 2 powders sitting next to each other on your nail. We're looking for a gradient here, people. Here you want the powder to extend just over the 1/2 mark on your nail. Next up, we're taking Twinkle, and just like before, rubbing it into your nail with small circular motions. I think you kind of get the point by now, so I'm going to go ahead and start speeding this up. Last but not least, we have Supernova. And buffing it into the very base of the nail, we now have a beautiful, smooth, holographic multi-chrome gradient that I think looks stunning. This is where that cuticle protector we used earlier comes in handy. If you peel that right off, there'll be absolutely no mess. Gorgeous. Now you could be done here, but I want this to be very unicorn themed, so how could we do that without some flakies? I'm taking this old China glaze polish I have called Luxe and Lush. As you can see, it's a little bit thick and goopy because I've had it for such a long time. So rather than painting it on normally, I'm going to be using the brush to sort of place the different flakies. This way I have a lot more control as to where they go and can make sure it doesn't goop up and cause a bunch of lumps in my nail. Who said old polishes weren't useful? There we go. Finally, I'm going to seal this all in with a thick gel top coat. You can also use a regular top coat, but in this case I decided the gel would be a lot better for really sealing in all the flakies. Once it's cured, you're all done. Almost. I decided that there was not quite enough unicorn going on here. So I jumped over to my index finger, which has been prepped with a black base just like before, and we're going to take this unicorn head vinyl from TwinkledT and press it firmly down into the center of our nail. Taking a gel top coat, we're going to cover just the unicorn head and cure it under the LED lamp, but only for a couple of seconds. This will once again leave that slightly sticky resin on top of the nail. Now I'm going to go in with the nail powders in the same order as before, creating another gradient just within the unicorn head. Making sure to blend them in, and once again using those small circular motions. Now we get to peel it up and see our beautiful unicorn head. I'm a very big fan of this one. Look at that gradient. I love it. I decided that the empty space was a little bit too glaring, so I'm taking Holo Tacos Rainbow Snow. After all, this design was inspired by Holo Tacos Weekly Challenge. And I decided to put it on the corner of a makeup sponge and create a little bit of a vignette around the unicorn head. So I'm going in with the makeup sponge just around the corners of the nail, creating a nice little outline. Finally sealed in with a thick top coat, and you are all done. And this is the finished product. I was actually very happy with how it turned out. It was definitely time consuming, but I think it was worth it in the end, and I hope you do too. Alright, thank you for watching, and let me know what you think.